Hey everyone. You know, this past Saturday, unfortunately, I didn't get to watch when it officially aired the season 8 premiere of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, the two-parter School Days. I didn't get to watch it, unfortunately, but thankfully somebody at one of the Facebook group pages uploaded both parts as one little mini movie, as one 44+ minute mini movie on one of the Facebook group pages. So what I did is I copied the link to that video, went to savevideo.me, downloaded said video, the two-part premiere, and like I said, it's one big mini movie, and then proceeded to put it onto DVD, courtesy of Windows DVD Maker, alongside another copy of Forgotten Friendship. So, which is of course part of Equestria Girls. But that's not what I'm here for. What I'm here to talk about is our newest antagonist for this season, or at least, as far as we know, newest antagonist. But in my opinion, not a full-fledged villain. And that is Chancellor Naysayer. See, Chancellor Naysayer, to me, comes off, yes, as very antagonistic, but in a way that doesn't make him a full-fledged villain. I know that sounds confusing, but hear me out. You see, a lot of people in life, real life, can be very antagonistic, but that doesn't make them villains. They're just antagonistic because sometimes they stand by what they believe in. They stand by what they believe in. They stand by what they say being gospel, what they say being truth. And that's the vibe I get with Naysayer. Somebody that stands by his beliefs and believes that what he says is true. And his beliefs, believe it or not, make him the very first. Now I know there might be some arguments here and there, but makes him, in my opinion, the very first official racist character in MLP. In Friendship is Magic, that is. The first one, as far as I know. Again, I know people might correct me on that, might say that's not entirely true, but from what I can see, from what I can tell, it does. Here's why. Okay? Here's why it makes him the very first one. One, if you pay attention to the episode, or from what people have said, he is very, right off the bat, you could tell you're not going to like this guy. When Twilight and Spike approach him and the rest of the EEA to get approval for her school, you can almost tell right away that he's going to be a very unlikable character for a while. Why? Because he specifically tells Twilight that she can have her school, but it's got to follow EEA etiquette. It's got to follow EEA etiquette. And, mind you, it's got to be, the main student body has got to be ponies only. That's kind of the vibe you get. But you see, now I'm not sure if he tells her that right off the bat when she meets with the EEA to get the approval, but you can basically tell that that's his standpoint, that she can have her school, but she's got to follow these rules, and this is specifically what you got to, teach to, or who you got to teach to. So when I look at someone like Naysayer, and the fact that basically he comes off the way he does, especially towards the end, when he sees that not only has Twilight, in his mind, violated the EEA restrictions of a pony-only oriented school, and has now allowed all these other creatures to come in and be taught, but at the same time, he comes off as very racist, if not very speciesist, because he basically tells the prince of the Yaks, of Yakistan, that perhaps they should go back to their own kind. And it's like, whoa! Did this guy just come out and say, hey, that you're not, that, did this guy just come out basically and admit that he's racist? That he only trusts pony kind and nothing else? Or no one else? It's like, whoa, that just blows your mind. That just blows your mind, right? Because not only does this guy come off as racist, but there's an indication right at the end of the whole two-parter when Celestia brings up a similar situation with ponies, pegasi, and unicorns in the past, from the past, although that took place in the past. When Celestia brings that up, it's almost like this guy's racial attitude towards the dragons, hippogriffs, yaks, and griffins, and even ponies themselves goes further back than what's being shown. You kind of get this hint that he's more about the unicorns than any other ponies. He's more about the unicorns and possible alicorns than any other ponies. You get that vibe, you get that feeling, that indication that there is more to this guy's racial attitude than just a disdain for the yaks, hippogriffs, sea ponies, the griffins, the changelings, and the dragons. You get more of a vibe that there's more to it. And I hope, as this season goes on, they explore that. I hope they go into more depth about that whenever he comes back. And we find out that this whole racial thing goes back a lot further, because when Celestia says that and mentions a similar situation, it makes you think. It makes you think. And again, the fact that the one compliment that a lot of people make about this is that he, along with Chrysalis and Tyrek and several others, are the only villains so far not to be redeemed yet. Not to be redeemed yet. So, when I think about this, the door is left wide open. I mentioned this in a video I did about Season 9. I said if Season 9 is going to be the finale, then that basically is going to be the final season. That's the best season to do a movie-like finale, and that the best way you can get to that is to use the ending of the second part of your two-part Season 9 premiere as a foundation to build towards that with every other episode. And I'm thinking, and I'm looking at this with the fact that that Naysayer wasn't redeemed, and that he basically tells Twilight when she comes out and says, hey, my school will help protect Equestria, and his rebuttal is, or destroy it, and he goes right through the portal. That tells me this guy is going to be a force, in a sense, to be reckoned with. But, again, he's not the kind of antagonistic... But to me, he's not the kind of antagonist that's full-fledged villain yet, but he's the kind of antagonist that's antagonistic because he's stuck in his beliefs. He believes that only ponies of any kind, and probably more so unicorns, should be the only superior species around Equestria, should be the only species taught any kind of education or be associated with. Think about that. Think about that for one moment. Think about that. I mean, the fact that sorry, my finger hit the mic there. But think about that. For one single solitary moment, he truly believes that his ways are the right way, that what he speaks is gospel. That's why, like I said, he's not a full-fledged villain of the antagonistic kind, but he's antagonistic. But he's just enough of an antagonistic foil that, yeah, he's powerful. He's a powerful unicorn. I mean, the fact that when he stomps his hoof down towards the end of the episode and it shoots off this big vibration, like I said, it shoots off this big vibration, or sends off this big vibration, it tells you that he is a powerful unicorn and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. But, again, he's not the kind of antagonistic that's full-fledged villain, but just enough of an antagonistic foil that's stuck in his beliefs, that's so stuck in what he believes to be right, that he will probably, if it's called upon, unleash whatever deep, dark power that he may have hidden inside of him to accomplish his goal. Because you can't tell me that when Maurice LaMarche, who did the voice of Naysayer, and he did a great job, by the way, when he says that this character is going to be back at the, towards the, sometime during the season, you can't tell me that this character with the power that he may potentially have won't unleash it to accomplish his goal. And think about this. A lot of us have heard potentially of what the season 9 finale could be like. I mean, not season 9, but season 8. Season 8 finale is going to be like. We have heard who potentially the heroes might be. Of course, that being the new Student 6, along with the Cutie Mark Crusaders. We heard who the potential antagonist, villain for this is going to be. And what's going to lead towards this. So you got to wonder, is Naysayer going to be connected to the finale? Because I don't want to give much away, but there is going to be something that happens to the main 6, which is going to be concluded in the second part. So you have to wonder if he has anything to do with this. Because the villain for that finale wants to tear down the school, destroy the school, shut it down, just like Naysayer. But this time, there's no teachers to stand in his way. So you have to wonder. Could he have a connection to the finale? Because if he's being portrayed as the kind of antagonistic foil that's so stuck in his beliefs that he will be willing to do whatever it takes to prove his theory right, to prove what he believes to be true, and bring it to life, then I can't say any more than what I've just said. They have left the door open for this guy to come back. They've left the door open for this guy to come back. Sorry about that. And try once again to shut down Twilight's school. Think about that for a moment, guys. Think about that. And the fact that even potentially when he returns, we could learn more about his history and why, when you think about what Celestia said at the end, why there might be more to his racial attitude than just towards these other creatures, these other races. You have to wonder, right? So to me, this fits. To me, this is right now the best character they got going. Was the premiere he debuted in perfect? No. But the way it ended leaves the door open and helps build towards that finale that's going to be at the end of this season. So I think they accomplished their goal with this guy. I really do. So those are just my thoughts on what I believe we're going to get with Chancellor Naysayer. Is there a chance he might be redeemed? Oh yeah, him and this other villain that's going to be in the finale, there's no doubt they might get redeemed. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. But give me your thoughts on Naysayer. What did you think about his debut, his overall attitude? And do you agree with anything that I've said about potentially reasonings as to why he has such a racial attitude and stuff? And perhaps his involvement later on. Let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. I'd like to hear from you guys. And I will talk to you all later. God bless. Take care.